Hi everyone, my name is Namita Mam, and I welcome you all in this session of verbal where again we are gonna learn lots of different root words. Our way, our approach, how we should approach vocabulary, what our technique has to deal with the vocabulary. As you all know, whichever exam you appear in, vocabulary is something that has to be there, and it is there. You are always going to find it in every examination. So today in this class, in this session of ours, we all together, it is going to be quite fun for all of us, and we all together are going to learn different good root words, quite a few important vocabularies, and of course one thing that I want from you people is that you all have to be very interactive with me. Like, once I'm done with the explanation and I'm asking you questions, so then there in that case you have to be little interactive. Remember, just imagine there's just a screen between us, so you do not have to think that we cannot communicate. Of course, I'll give you a pause, then you have to give your answer. Again, I'm going to take you to next question and the same repetitive pattern. So in this case, it will feel like we really are sitting just samne, and we are then doing this discussion of the vocabulary. So let's not waste much time of ours. Let's get started. Let's go, guys. So, and of course, it doesn't it feel like another universe we have entered in. So now of course, it is always fun if I'm simply going to explain you through the very old pattern what we people have been dealing with. Question answer, it becomes monotonous after some time. So imagine if it's a quest for the knowledge and we are some magical world and we will unlock the secret of learning English. That sounds fun and interesting anyway. So we are now entering the world of detectives, where we'll unlock the secret code of English. That what is the secret code? How we can deal with the English in a very approachable, different and nice manner. How and what we should do so that English is a fun language to us, right? Because we are dealing with the language, not a subject. Remember that. It feels like वो बचपन वाली चीजें याद दिला रहा है आपको. And so our mission is what? Learn 10 simple building blocks to instantly decode 100 giant mysterious words, right? Building blocks as in, let me tell you the whole vocabulary how we deal with. Of course, now I'm going to write upon it. So basically, your vocabulary is learned with the help of your root words, if I were to talk about. So whatever we today will be talking would majorly be of the portion of root words. Root words का मतलब होता है when you talk about the suffixes and prefixes, there are a lot of vocabulary in which you'll see that they are not of just one word. They are combination of two words or they are combination of three words. So maybe something that is added in the starting which has its own meaning wherever you in whichever vocabulary you apply delivers the same meaning. It's called as prefix and a part of root word. Same as the suffix. Suffix is a part which is added at the last of the vocabulary. Let's see how many are there. Like, first root word I'll take you through is with the help of benediction. See, बहुत भारी भरकम word लग रहा है. It looks like कुछ तो heavy सा, difficult सा मतलब इसका होगा. But logically नहीं है. All you need to do is to break this word. That's it. Initially, this word is made from two small words. एक वर्ड है आपका बेन और एक वर्ड है आपका डिक्शन. अब यहाँ पे खेल स्टार्ट होता है आपका रूट वर्ड का. लेट्स टेक दैट ट्रेन अहेड. ऑल यू शुड नो कि जिधर भी बेन आएगा, बेन ऑलवेज स्टैंड्स फॉर समथिंग गुड. लेट्स चेंज कलर इफ वी कैन. व्हिच इज गोना वर्क अपॉन इट? विल येलो वर्क? नो. I think white will then work, right? Something, yes, it is working, something good. Or when you talk about something which is very positive, so that is the bane. Now, diction, if you have to get the meaning of, so diction को आप याद रख सकते हो dictation से, right? So diction, dictionary, dictation, dictator, बहुत सारे वर्ड्स हैं ऐसे आपके. So all you should know, जिधर भी dict word आएगा, dict word always stands for words. कोई बात नहीं है, वाइट उसको बोल आप करें. We'll go to the explanation, right? So bane means the good block. Found in words like benefit and benevolent. आपने benevolent word भी तो सुना होगा. So benevolent में भी क्या होता है? You only talk about the main word, right? Similarly, diction, the speech words, log, found in the words like dictionary and dictate. That is what I told you. So altogether, the meaning of the word then will become what? A person who, like person who always is very positive, a person who speaks always in a very nice way, or a person who's of a good heart. So अच्छा meaning देता है. Now, so that is what it says. Snap them together, bring them together. You get a good speech or a blessing. If you know the blocks, you don't have to memorize the words. So blocks as in, if you know the root words, you do not really have to memorize. Right? जैसे bane के साथ, there's another word, guys. If I were to tell you, malediction एक word होता है, right? So diction word remain the same. अगर आप इसमें mal add कर दोगे, so with mal, the meaning of the word will become negative. So malediction would be when you talk about a person who speaks very negative or is a very negative person, curse when you talk about. So benediction is a blessing, malediction is a curse. Now you think of so many words which are there from mal. Malfunction, malware, आपके लैपटॉप में आता है ना. Then we have maleficent. बहुत सारे words हैं, सबका मतलब सेम होता है, mal से relate कर सकते हो. I hope this you have understood. कभी कहीं भी बेन आएगा, beneficiary, benefit, benevolent, you will get the meaning of the word. Great. Okay, this is what we were talking about. Doesn't it? It looks very nice, guys. Attractive. Okay. Now see, this is the hero character and this is the villain character. It looks like वो germ का ad नहीं आता तो बंटे तेरा साबुन slow है क्या? ऐसा germ नहीं लग रहा है आपको? Let's see that. So this is a good character. Profile अच्छी है इसकी. So let's talk about the hero and the villain in English. So which all are the words that work as hero and which all are the words that work as villain in the English language? Like if I talk about pain. So pain, I told you, pain factor, अच्छा, positive, beneficial, benevolent, benediction, beneficiary, benefit. We already have discussed a lot about it. Coming to mal. This is your villain profile. The villain, right? It means bad, badly, और evil आप बोल सकते हो इसको. Then आप इसको mal को आप bad बोल दिया, evil बोल दिया, curse भी आप बोल सकते हो. Right? So what are the words followed from it? Malinformation, गलत information. Maladjusted, wrongly adjusted. Dismal, removal. Malady, something like disease. Malady is basically a disease when you talk about bimari. Then you have malcontent, malfeasance, maleficent, malevolent, malice, malaria. See, अभी एक word से how many words have we done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 words, guys. There are multiple, many more words. So what is happening? अभी देखो, I really do not need to memorize the meaning of each and every word. I know ये आएगा, मतलब पहला problem हमारा ये होता है when we deal with the vocabulary and we are being given 4 options. So the very first approach of ours should be of the elimination. Elimination on the grounds of positive and negative. Elimination on the grounds of being related and not being much related. So positive and negative elimination में बहुत help करेगा. आप देखो बथेरे words हैं, same category से belong करते हैं. And this is the beauty of root words in English. It didn't snap. Now it's good. Okay, moving on to the next one. Now we are going to learn more root words. We learned 2 and multiple vocabularies that were, or let's say that could have been associated with them. Now we are going to learn the action blocks like of your walking, talking, fighting. Let's start with that. अभी आप shoes से relate कर सकते हो guys that we are talking about चलने वाला. And trust me, for the exams that you are going to appear for, this root word is really very important. How is that? See, amble. आपको सिर्फ ये याद रखना है. जिधर भी amble word आएगा, it will relate you to walking. Now, the very first and important word I could take you through this root word is somnambulist. You probably must have seen there are a lot of people जिनको नींद में चलने की बीमारी होती है, right? So what you should learn, somna word is for sleep, amble is for walk. So somna ambulist अभी मतलब आ गया. अगर हमें रूट वर्ड्स मालूम है, now you see I can know the meanings of the word. Somna for sleep, amble to walk, which means a person who walks while sleeping, right? जैसे अभी आपने एक डिक्ट वर्ड पढ़ा था, कई बार आपने देखा होगा कई ऐसे लोग होते हैं जिनको नींद में बोलने की बीमारी होती है, बात करने की बीमारी होती है. So they can be called as somnaloquist. Somna is for sleep. Now one more root word, anyway not related to this, but loka word किधर भी आएगा. So loka is for speech, for words. So anybody who talks while sleeping is called to be somnaloquist. Similarly और भी amble वाले words देखते हैं. This we did, right? Ambulatory means when you talk about the very active action of walking. Similarly, amble, to walk. Ambulance, have you heard? Why do we say ambulance? Like ambulance is what, a chalta fitta hospital, can I say? A medical emergency, right? So it is walking. Then we have perambulate, preamble. So preamble is your basically what? Short mini constitution we call it. The very first part of it, which in a very concise and in a brief way tells you about what your the constitution is all about. So that can be carried. You can take it and you can walk very easily. Similarly, you have preambulate. A person जो हर जगह घूमता फिरता रहता, walks around, a wanderer, is called as perambulate person. Similarly, there's another root word that is your dict. Abhi, I think we already have discussed a bit about it. So dict word is for dictation. Do you remember I told you quite a few words like dictator, diction, dictionary. Most of the words could be related here only. Like you have predict. So predict as in पहले से ही बता देना, बोलना. Verdict, judgment, malediction. I told you abhi, you can get that, you can relate it. Mal is for bad and dict is for speaking. So a person who speaks very badly, or curse you can talk about, is your malediction. Similarly, dictionary, right? Then dictate, dictum, diction, indict, contradict. Every word has dict in it and more or less they have the same meaning. Similarly, another could be bell. Trust me guys, this is the very most important one for your exam. Lot of words are from there, and if I were to talk about your examination, every time, every year, this root word becomes very important. You may get questions from the tones of the passage with the bell, bellicose, belligerent, or even in the normal form of the vocabulary you find it very often. Like, bell, you should know, is related to war only. So, belligerent, antebellum, bellicose, rebel. I'll tell you, आप war भी बोल सकते हो, आप इसको angry से भी relate कर सकते हो, आप इसको hostile से भी relate कर सकते हो, ठीक है? So जिधर भी जैसे belligerent आता है, so belligerent means a person who is very like warlike person. So initially, what do you understand by warlike? Warlike का मतलब होता है a person who is always ready to fight. Bellicose again is the same one, a person who is always ready to fight, or a person who is very angry and hostile. Imagine if you have your neighbor is always, keeps on fighting, complains about things. So you can say that my neighbor is really very bellicose in nature, or my neighbor is really very belligerent in nature. Similarly, rebel, antebellum. Okay, इधर antebellum अगर आपको break करना है, so guys, this is really very important. Easier. Ante means before, and bellum is for war. So antebellum could then give you the meaning before the war. Okay, so we have more. अभी तक we were doing. आप यार जूते तो चलने से आता. हाँ. नहीं तो चलेंगे हमें वापस जाना है. Go back, Simon. Go back. Okay, so we did that walking wala, we did that ticked wala, and we did अब यार war. Now we are going to unlock a few root words which are related to people and what they believe. Right. So be with me with the pace. Let's learn it together. Now, the very first word is your demo. Now, let me. I'm very bad with colors, guys. So, which is going to work? Will this work? Okay. This, I think, works a lot. See, demo, very important word. Let me write how this demo word works. If I'm writing a word as demophobia, and guys, if I ask you immediately, do you know the meaning of the word demophobia? You probably will take a pause and would think, no, we really are not sure. But if I take the word as democracy, I'm just telling you the beauty of the root words. Now, the moment I ask you, do you know the word democracy? You probably would say, yes, ma'am, I know that. Because democracy is something we have been hearing a lot many times in India. We know that our government is of the democracy, which means a government to the people, for the people, by the people is democracy, right? So, how you can break it into parts. Demo is for people, cracy is government. अब इमेजिन करो बच्चे को अगर बाहर का बच्चा है, so maybe he might not know what is democracy, right? In India, because उसके यहाँ पे federal system चलता है. Then in that case, he'll have to learn the meaning of the word like this. Similarly, अब इसको तोड़ने की कोशिश करो. Now you can do it with the help of root words. अभी आपको नहीं भी मालूम था, पता चल जाएगा. जैसे, can I say this is for people? Can I say phobia is for fear? Or phobia is for dislike? I can say that easily. So demophobia means a person who has the fear of people. It's called to be demophobia. Many words are there with demo now. ठीक, अभी आपको समझ आ रहा है रूट वर्ड्स क्या चीज है? कितने इम्पोर्टेंट है हमारे लिए? इतने इम्पोर्टेंट है. Okay. Democracy we did. Demagogue. Demagogue again is like teaching, पढ़ाना, बताना, लोगों से related है. Epidemic, pandemic. Oh, let me break this word for you guys. Not eraser. I think let's think white would work. Okay. Is not the need of an eraser. Okay. If I write the word as pandemic, guys, इतना multicolored है ना हमारा बोर्ड के हमें दिख नहीं सकता. But कोई बात नहीं, हम फिर भी कम पढ़ेंगे. Okay, now pandemic and epidemic, if I have to divide and check, it's very simple. How you could have learned it. These are the two words which students in most of the cases are not able to decipher the meaning of. देखो, जिधर भी pan word आएगा ना, आपने सुना होगा pan India बोलते हैं. So what does a person mean when they say pan India? So pan India का मतलब होता है all over India, right? So can I say pan का मतलब is all, demic, demo, demog is for people, so which means for everybody, generally known, widespread to everyone. If I talk about epidemic, just opposite of it, something, or when you talk about anything which is known by a few people, just some people know it, it's called as your epidemic. Likewise, demographic is the word related to people. That's it. Are we done with the people? The demo word? Moving on to the brighter side of it. I think we should go back to the color of ours, which is this one. Okay, there you go. The next word for us is your theo. Very important, guys. Theo word is related to your God, or it is related to religion. So when you talk about anything related to God or religion, you can go for the word theo. Let me take you through multiple words which are formed with that. First, let's discuss these. Theology. As we have just studied, theo is for God, logy is for study. So theology or theologist would be a person who does the study of God or involved in the study of God. Theist, आपने एक बहुत पॉपुलर सा वर्ड सुना होगा, हम बोलते हैं एथीस्ट. How has that word come from? Theist means when you talk about a person who is a believer of God. I am a theist person, a believer of God, believer in religion. जब भी आप किसी वर्ड में पॉजिटिव वर्ड में ए ऐड करते हो, so the meaning of the word becomes negative. So then in that case, opposite of theist would be atheist. Similarly, you have poly. All you need to know is poly is for many, right? So polytheist would be a person who believes in many religions and many gods. Similarly, pantheism, pantheist. अभी हमने डिस्कस किया था ना pan word के बारे में. So pan was for all. Pan was for all of you, for everybody there. So pantheism would mean a person who is a believer of all gods and religion. It's called as pantheist. Similarly, atheist, as I told you, would give you the meaning of, it talks about a person who's a non-believer of God. Similarly, monotheist. Mono is for one, which means a person who believes in one God. Likewise comes your bitheist also. So bi means a person who believes in many gods or many religions. Okay. Now let's talk about cred. Guys, cred से भी बतेरी वर्ड्स होते हैं. सबसे पहले आपको cred का मीनिंग अगर समझना है, so just understand credit. हम बोलते हैं ना credit, credible, credulous, credulence, incredible, right? So जिधर भी cred, आपके अकाउंट में जब मनी क्रेडिट आता है ना, अब क्रेडिट होता है, which means money comes into your account. So cred का मतलब होता है to believe somebody or something that you can trust upon is your cred. Like for an example, credible, trustable, credence, trust. Incredulous, you cannot trust. Then incredible बोलते ना, oh it's our incredible India. Wow, when you talk about, amazing when you talk about. So we are done with 3 root words. अभी I'm gonna take you through all that we have studied. आपसे मैं पूछूंगी, आप मुझे बताना what was the meaning of those root words. I hope you are upon the same page with me for that. Let's go, guys. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Bane. Come on, think about it. Bane was good. Mal, bad. Dict. Dict was for dictation, bolna. Then your word demo was for people. Phobia was for, yes, fear. Cred means value, to believe. Theist means believer of God and religion. Amble किस लिए था? So amble was to walk. Then somna was for, I'm just taking the names of the root words that we all together have discussed. Somna was for, yes, you know the word. Somna was for sleep. Then loka was for the for the words, for the speech we talk about. Then one of the very important root word that we studied, bell. Bell was for, or belly was for, a person who's very warlike, a person who's always ready to fight. Okay, so we are done with this. Now let's move on. Abhi we have more root words to go for, guys. Isn't this class colors transformation looks so pretty? Okay, so now we are going to talk about the modifiers, as in the root words which basically talk about the light or new or the eraser block. Eraser is very interesting one. ठीक है? Let's start from the light one. देखो, light के लिए जब भी कोई भी root word आता है ना, that root word is your photo. Photo, photon, photosynthesis, photophobia, right? Photomaniac, जिधर भी आ गया. Photo word is always for light. So Photograph. Do you remember photograph? When a picture is clicked, even um, you can relate it to ancient time also. So when a picture of the person was clicked, so there was a sort of snap of light, like a click, shutter sound of sudden light was there, and light was portrayed. So that is how photograph has come from. Photosynthesis, we all know, is the process in the presence of light when plants make their own food is called as a photosynthesis. Likewise, we have our photon also with us. Okay, so the next one is your neo word for the new things. Like, for an example, neologism. Now, neologism is basically, if I were to get you to the real core and depth meaning of it, neologism is basically for the new ideas when we talk about. So, very new ideas are your neologism. Then also neologism vocabulary. Abhi, just neologism is basically a very historical word if you relate it. As in, if you go back to the history, so there were neologism ideas. So which were basically the new ideas that people used to portray. It was also for when the people were demanding their independence. And neo vocabulary भी होता है. Neologism एक vocabulary का form भी होता है. When we talk about those vocabularies which most of the people are not aware of, or let's say most of the people are not used to that form of the vocabulary, that is also called as neologism vocabulary. Like if I talk about tea, so it is common for you, it is common for me, but this word is not common, or many people often do not use it. Or if I talk about low key, sus, or let's say if I talk about your, often when people have to go to the washroom, they say, can I go to powder room? Now powder room for them is very acceptable, but if you talk about the people who do not have much knowledge about it, they probably might end up thinking something else about it. Okay, then neonate, neoclassic, neophyte. So jidhar bhi new aayega, you should know that it is talking about something what? It is talking about something new. Perfect. Okay, guys. Now going to the eraser block. Very important. देखो, eraser block बोलता है that if you add a or an in a vocabulary, the meaning of the vocabulary becomes negative. Like, negative as in, it gives you the meaning of the vocabulary with not. Or let's say it gives you the meaning of the vocabulary of without, not, without, absent. That structure. अभी भी मैंने आपको एथीस्ट का एक एग्जाम्पल दिया था जहां पे मैंने आपको समझाया थीस्ट का मतलब होता है बिलीवर, right? So a will come and will give you the negative meaning. So atheist means when you talk about a person who is a non-believer of God. Similarly, we have the very same word, anarchy. Now, Archy is basically for the government, for the place when you talk about which has a particular form of the people or the government to rule there. It's called as archy. I mean, like it's related to somewhere to that. An word will mean give it a negative meaning. So anarchy would give you the meaning that when you talk about a place where the absence of government is there. Right, so that's anarchy. When there is no particular government to rule. Likewise, anonymous. See, nimbus word. I'll break this word for you. So nimbus word means known. जानते हो आप उसको, उस इंसान को या उस चीज को, let's say. An word will come and give it a negative meaning. So anonymous means when you talk about something or somebody who you do not know is anonymous to you. Likewise, apathy. See guys, there are 4 words that I think I must discuss here with these. You probably would have heard about sympathy. So sympathy is what? When you show general concern for somebody, or when you have the normal pity for somebody. Let's talk about empathy now. So empathy is basically when you talk about when you talk about the feeling where you put yourself in that person's place and you try to feel what that person is going through. Is that you are being very empathetical? Let's say if my friend had an accident and I also had it back then sometimes. So now I probably must be able to feel the pain that the person is going through. So now in that case, I am being very empathetical towards that person. पैथी का मतलब so अभी समझ में आया कि पैथी जिधर भी आएगा means the feeling, the concern you talked about. Attaching a into it will give it a negative meaning. So apathy would give you the meaning that when you do not like something, when you hate something, when you dislike something, is apathy for you. Likewise, like apathy, we have one more word which is there, antipathy. So anti means being against. So antipathy gives you the meaning that when you talk about a person who is very rebellious to you. Likewise, anemia. Anemia, you all know that is the disease we talk about. Then atypical, anesthesia. So of course, anesthesia when you talk about any person who is very much incensed, a person who is able to recognize the things around him and everything. Anesthesia means when you give that the injection of the medicine to a person, where a person loses his consciousness and is probably not able to recognize things, is your anesthesia pain. Okay, so we are done. Now, what does this special note teaches us? This is important, guys. It says, when you attach a or an to the front of the word, it erases it. So, like God, atheist, someone who believes without God. So, this a and an will a concept. It's something that I believe you should know. Actually, you have to know that. Now, let's do quite a few questions to understand how actually this root words wala thing helps and works for us. So, this is a case file. Let's deal it in the form like we are dealing with the criminals. We are being given the case file. We are being given the 4 people. Like the options, now we have to pick which is for whom. Monotheist, I think we can do it. We have done it. How? Mono for one. Theist is for believer of God. Right? Believer of God. So believer of one God. One who believes in religious only God in problem नहीं. He's the one who trusts gods in problems जैसा कुछ word होता नहीं है. Philosophy को जो knowledge होता है philosopher बोलते हो आप उसको. One who believes in one religion is your C1, the answer for that. So one who believes in religious books. Also, now we are right. So remember Theo, God. Even if you do not know, Theo blocks points to the right answer. So if you know the root words, your guess for the answers becomes easier. Second case is, guys, the missing rules. Okay, so it says that I'm not gonna. Okay, anyway, try वो दिखेगा आपको. चलो देखते हैं. Anarchy. We just discuss it. Think about it. Anarchy was for government. And word आएगा, negative meaning देगा. So anarchy would talk about a place which is without ruler. Right, so without law and order, can we say A has to be the answer? Without feelings को हम क्या बोलते हैं? Take your time, quickly tell me what is without feelings. Apathy. Then without monarchy, मतलब एक ruler नहीं है, so that should be very. Of course, a monarchy नहीं बोल सकता. Then we have the next one, amble. Oh, come on, guys, we did that too. Amble is what? Do you remember the shoe, the red color, pink color we studied? So, amble क्या आएगा? To walk fast. ठीक है? Of course. Oh, you tell me this. We studied this, no, guys. What do we call a person who is capable of writing with both hands? Come on, take your time and tell me. What should be the answer for that? A person who's capable of writing from both hands. Yes, I want answer from your side. You know it. You have done it. Right. So, that's called as ambidextrous. Now, how do you know that? Ambi word is for both. Right. Dext word is for skill. So ambidextrous means when you talk about a person who is capable of writing from both hands. Now let me give you a valid example of that. Have you seen that Three Idiot movie देखी आपने? Three Idiot में एक character था आपका Virus नाम का. So Virus was very crazy, you know, the professor of the university. So if you have seen that Virus, so Virus was capable of writing from both hands. So that capability of writing from both hands is called as dexterous. Or if you probably have seen Rajnikant, so Rajnikant ka movie tha ek robot, if you know the person. So Rajnikant also is capable of writing from both hands. So he is also called as what? He is also called as ambidextrous. Likewise, so gander is like gander and goose ka related होता है. चलो, let's move on to the another case file. We are done with the third case file of ours. अभी हम एक काम कर सकते हैं, काश हमारे पास ये होता, हम इसको बंद कर देते. Remember that पुराने टाइम वाले हम ऐसा तिजोरी होती थी ना, this one time machine one, you got the answer, you just stolen it and you closed it back. Sounds fancy anyway. Okay, benign. So benign is what? Occurs, innocuous, temporary benefit, or is it heated discussion? Okay, now see, benign is basically innocuous. Innocuous का मतलब होता है harmless, right? So bane is for good one. Like आपको याद है हमने hero and villain blocks पढ़े थे, तो bane word आया था उधर. So which means something that is good for you. So innocuous means harmless. देखा भी आपको हीरो विलेन वो जिस तरीके से हमने पढ़ा था, वो चीजें हमारे कितने काम आ रही है guys. Now you can relate that. Okay, and could you tell me what do we call a curse? We studied a word for this also. So what do we call a curse? Jaldi batao. And I know you know that because you studied that. What is a curse called? If you could tell me. If you just try remembering it, there was a word we did for that. Yes? No? Come on guys, you can do it. Do you remember the bad one? जैसे हमने हीरो ब्लॉक पढ़ा, वैसे एक विलेन ब्लॉक भी था. विलेन ब्लॉक का रूट वर्ड क्या था? आपको सिर्फ ये याद करना है. That's it. No? Okay. So curse के लिए जो word था हमारा, that was malediction. Do you remember the mal word that I told you? So mal word for what? For the bad, for evil, for curse when you talk about. Chalo. Shall we go to the next one? The case file 5. It's like the easier one. आप आराम नाल कर सकते हो इसको. Not a big deal for us. Okay. Credulous, difficult to give credit, unbelievable, naive, or skeptical. Now, those who are thinking skeptical क्या होता है? Let me tell you. There is a word called as skeptical also. Just for your FYI to be precise, skeptical and skeptical, they both are similar. They both give you the very same meaning. And इन दोनों का मतलब होता है doubtful. So that is your skeptical or skeptical. Now, what should be? अच्छा, naive if I were to tell you बेटा, कई बार आपने देखा होगा जब कोई person आता है who is very sorry guys. So a person who is very सीधा साधा, a person who is very decent, very like, who's not cunning at all. So that person is called as what? That person is called as naive, right? Gullible आपने एक word सुना होगा. So it's like very innocent. So that's called as your naive. Like a person, if I say that you all are very naive, which means you all are very सीधा साधा बच्चा. Now, so credulous. Cred is to believe, to trust. So that should be naive. Something that you can trust, because unbelievable to opposite hoga, that should be incredulous. That should be the word. Difficult to give credit is not related at all. So a person who's very naive, very सीधा साधा is a credible person. You can believe it. As in, बहुत villainous नहीं है इंसान. Oh, I'm sounding like the TV character right now. Okay, now moving on to the next one. Guys, ta-da! The next case file is this one. The crowd pleaser. Crowd. If you can just go back and think, which was the word we studied for people? That is this one. So, harbinger, a lead singer, a political leader, and educator. Chalo, let's see that. It could be what? Very good. Dema means pause, people. Gog is to teach, to lead, बताना किसी को समझाना. So that is how you go for this gog word. Now, so of course, harbinger is like a place जहाँ चीजें रखते हैं. So would not be an answer. Lead singer नहीं होगा. It could be educator or leader, political leader. So that could be a political leader, right? So demo, people से आप कर सकते हो. So demagogue is a leader who tries to stir up to the people, who talks to the people. You know, kind of we can say a person who tries to manipulate. That is what leaders actually do. We have to do the seventh one. Where is that? Okay, we thought हमारी case file एक चोरी हो गई. Okay, seventh one. The global event. So globally, I told you even the meaning of the pandemic also, and I told you the meaning of the word endemic also, if you remember. Remember, guys? Are you up with me on that? Okay. So what is pandemic? Without errors, generally known, a rare thought, some known to astronomers. Astronomers को known होगा, so it would have some vocabulary of them only. So that is, see, I told you, pan word is for all. Demic or demo word is for people. So known to all people or something that is for everyone. If I were to say, so of course astronomers नहीं आएंगे, rare thought नहीं आएगा. So that should be general. What do we call without errors? Erroneous होता है. So with errors, opposite of that, without errors. I mean, this is how the kids usually learn vocabulary. Now we have the eighth one. It says the word collector. So what is the word collector? Definition: art of making a dictionary. Very good question it is, and quite important also for your exam. So what is the art of making dictionary called as? Lexicography, linguistics, chirogenics, theology. Okay, let me tell you, chirogenics is something related to physics, as in the the process of preparing something. So this word is related to physics. So I can eliminate this one. ये नहीं होगा. Also, guys, can I break the D word? Can I break it into parts? Logy word किसके लिए जाता है आपका? Study के लिए. Theo word is for God. So can I say theology would be what? Study of God. Likewise, linguistics. Linguistic word deals with languages. So maybe linguistics could be for a person who studies about languages, or a person who is very much interested in knowing multiple languages, or could be probably for a person who is does research about lot many different languages. So ये भी नहीं होगा. बचता क्या है? A. See, whenever there's a question of the vocabulary, or whichever question there is, or homonyms, homophone vocabulary, antonyms, synonyms, I always tell one thing to you people. Getting right answer or marking the right answer should never be your thing. Eliminating wrong option has to be the thing that you people have to practice, because once you master that art of eliminating wrong options, trust me, you will end up in the right answer only. So you just master how you have to eliminate the wrong answer. That's it. So you have to remember this lexico word. Lexico. Lexicon, lexico, lexi. This word is related to dictionary. Also, one thing I could have simply told you, ये answer होगा, and I could have moved forward, guys. But I do not want you to be the part of the rot learning. देखो vocabulary करने का बहुत fun तरीका ये होता है. तोड़ के फोड़ के whichever way you are able to relate. I never believe that vocabulary should be a part of rote learning. Or our main motto is not, this is the question, these are the options, this is how we eliminate it, and that's it. We have to work upon that process of understanding them. Right? I hope you are able to get my sense out of that. Okay. Now, let's move on to the next one. Final. Okay, so did we miss any? Okay, no. So the final case, and I able to see it. Like, have you? Okay, I'll not take that. But you know, when it's like, boom, surprise, the celebration, it looks like that. Okay. So the final boss, the master task, polyglot. Okay, you should know the way mono is for one, bi is for two. Similarly, poly is for many. Right? Now, polyglot is who? One who knows multiple religions, one who has multiple husbands, one who has many jobs, one who knows. Okay, basically the likari one who knows many languages over. Right, let me tell you the right answer first. So, polyglot is basically as the one who knows many languages, which is a D1. Now, let's talk about others, what they are and what is their meaning. Like, one who has multiple husbands is called as your polyandry. So, andry or andro is a word which is used for man. Like polygamy, आपने सुना होगा. Poly means multiple. Gamy is for marriages. So maybe when we talk about a person who has done many marriages or has many wives, multiple wives is called to be polygamy person. Similarly, when we talk about a person who has multiple husbands, it's called as polyandry, which of course is not allowed in our country. And it should not be actually. Then, one who has many jobs, jack of all trades, कुछ भी हो सकता है. There's no fixed word for that. One who knows many religions. So, theist, polytheist आप बोल सकते हो. Knows or worships could be your polytheist. Right? So, at least now we have understood, I think from my side, a bit how and what root words are for you and how and what your approach has to be of dealing with the root words. Now, after this, guys, we are going to practice a lot of questions from the root words so that we understand this, right? So, हमारा case closed हो चुका है. We have won it. Of course, we learned everything. So, you now possess the keys to decode English language. Keep looking for the hidden blocks, and hidden blocks as in you just have to keep looking for the root words which are present in the vocabularies. Okay, so should we practice, guys? Oh, this is good. Should we practice, guys? Let's practice. I hope I could have covered this. Should we practice? Let's do that. But this looks cute although. Okay. Come on, guys. Buckle up. Gather up yourself. शुरू हो जाओ. सवाल पढ़ो. आंसर बताओ. क्या होगा पहले आंसर, गाइस? Okay, so your questions say that. Okay, questions are saying the पहला सवाल आपका है. It says that it is, again we have to break it and understand it. Monotheist is who? One who believes in religious books, one who has knowledge about philosophies, one who believes in one religion, and one who trusts only in God in good problems. Okay, देखो, mono is for one. Theist is for God. So can I say a person who believes in one God is called as monotheist? That then could be your C1. Anarchy. I told you. We studied that together, guys. Archy is for government. A and word आ जाएगा. Do you remember negative eraser वाला block हमने पढ़ा था? Negative जाएगा. So anarchy means when we talk about a place which is without the law and order. So That should be A1. Okay, did we miss any option that could have been important for us? No, we did that. Could you tell me the word for without feelings? I think that should immediately strike to your head. Oh, we studied it. It was this. So without feelings was your apathy. Hope you remember that. Okay. Then we have the next one, which is okay, 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 guys. So it is coming in parts. Amble. We know this, guys. Amble is for what? Amble is for walking, chalna. Right. So to write with both. You should know one thing also. To write with both hands, we did the word today only. What was that? Come on, I need the answer from your side. Tell me that. What do we call a virus? अभी मैंने आपको example दिया था. Virus, Rajnikant. That was ambidextrous. Right. So that we can do. Amble means walk. Then it should be your. So amble हमेशा walk से relate करता है. Loquacious, guys. Okay. Now let me tell you. This loca, do you remember? Taught you one word that was your somnologist was the word that I told you. And somnologist में somna was for sleep, loca was for to speak. So loca word जिधर भी आएगा वो words के लिए, बातों के लिए जाता है. So it should be loquacious would be a person who talks a lot. B1. Okay. Then we have got okay. Benign is the word, and do you remember हमने जब वो case files पढ़ी थी? So in the case files we had the word called as benign, guys. So I think you can do it, and probably I believe you know the answer also. Benign is what? Occurs, innocuous, temporary benefit, heated discussion. What is that? Benign is what? Okay. See, benign. You remember good and bad वाला blocks जो हमने पढ़े थे? So benign में ben एक block हमारा आ रहा था which was for good. So benign is something that is good for you, something that is harmless. So that should be innocuous. Okay. We are doing what? We'll see later on. Okay. Let's do this one, guys. Quickly, do it. What should be the answer of misanthrope? Done, guys? Okay, chalo, let's see it now. And also, please do not see that it should be A. It should be B here, guys. Because innocuous means harmless. And benign means kind. Right? And also, one more thing happened just back to that. आप गलती ना करो. Okay, ये अभी मुझे याद आया क्योंकि I was correcting that. ये तो D नहीं होगा, guys. Of course, it should be to work fast. It should be A. ठीक है. So बाद में जब आप हे मत सोचो gander is the plural or the male version of who's only. So that is how they are related. So please do not think. Let me correct it. वो maybe mistype होगा. The team which has done it. Okay. So we are done with benign. The next was misanthrope. Now let me break that word for you. Mis word is negative. Mis means the hater or a person who dislikes. ऐसा relate करो. Anthro और anthro word जिधर भी आएगा ना, this is for humankind or this is for mankind. Let me give you a very easy example of this. Have you heard about the subject that we often study is called as your anthropology subject? सुना है आपने? So anthropology is a subject. What do we study in that? The basic core, the idea of that is, it is a subject that deals with the evolution of humankind, mankind, right? Like इंसान बंदर से इंसान कैसे बना? That whole transformation and things about it are being talked about in your anthropology. So similarly, you can relate. So it should be. अच्छा हमने सारी कहानी देख ली और आंसर नहीं किया. So one who's sick, scared, no. Illness, no. One who hates mankind, D1. Okay. So the next one for us is what? Okay. Decrypt. आप relate कर okay. See, descript, script, relate, लिखना, and non will give it a negative meaning. So non-descript means not written, featureless. So ये गलती से हमारा आंसर क्योंकि इधर आ गया था, so हम इसको मान लेंगे. Next we have panacea. Oh guys, it is should be the same situation. You know when they, oh, hold on, boy, I've seen you somewhere. I've seen you somewhere. Panacea should be that word for you because probably in the starting I discussed about that word, what panacea is, right? Okay, let me tell you the meanings. Insomnia is related to sleep. Basically, this word is for the people who have difficulty in sleeping are called to be insomniac. Likewise, ambrosia. Now, ambrosia is a very, very beautiful word. Let me tell you, by the way. So, ambrosia means, it is a Roman word actually. So, it means a food of God. Or let's learn this way, a food offered to God. In short, prasad aap bol sakte ho, if you, that is how you can remember it. So, that is what ambrosia is, right? Offered to God, food of God, food for God. Then, panacea. So, panacea is basically in Hindi, if I were to relate, you probably would have read about a word called as Rambaan. सुना है आपने? Oh, ये तो Rambaan इस चीज के लिए. That's panacea, which means something that is cure of all diseases. Like, let's relate it that way. जब हमें कुछ भी होता है, which is the very first tablet we people go for and take, हम पैरासिटामोल लेते हैं. हमें कुछ भी हो, पहली मेडिसिन हमारी पैरासिटामोल बाय डिफॉल्ट आती है, उसके बाद हम डॉक्टर के पास जाते हैं, दिखाते हैं. सो panacea, paracetamol, very similar. So which means cure of all disease. That should be B1. Okay. आ जाओ. नहीं आ गया. I think you should know that. Right? So polyglot. I think you must know that. Poly, I told you, is for multiple. Right? So, one who knows many religions, one who has many husbands, one who has many jobs, or one who knows many languages. Polyglot is basic. See, jobs related to nahi hai. Husbands, I told you, there's a word called as andry word, husband, man, male se relate karta hai. Then, religion, agar aap baat karoge, so there has to be the root word related as theist, theo, ऐसे वर्ड्स होंगे. जब तीनों एलिमिनेट करते हैं तो बचता क्या है गाइस हमारे पास D. So glot is for the languages. That's it. Elimination, I tell you. Only good way to deal with the vocabulary is to eliminate. That's it. Now, porter. Oh, this is very, very, very easy. Something very relatable. हम सामान porter करते हैं. You can relate to me. With me on that. Porter कर दो सामान. So इधर से उधर भेज दो. Carry करना. So that could take you to one who can be carried around, captures picture, one who carries water. It should be one who. Okay. हमारा porter भाग गया guys. Okay, porter हो गया. We could have said that. It should be A. Okay. Now moving on to why is this not going page? But our marks were not able to porter themselves. Can we say that, guys? Our vocabulary portered, but not the marks. The draw ones. Okay. Were we sure on pandemic only? Yeah. Okay. So what could be pandemic? Pan is for all I told you, and demi is for the people. So without errors. Generally known, yes, I think now you can do it. It should be generally known. Then we have demagogue. Okay, this is something that we have already done, and you know that. So dema again relates to people, and gog could be a leader, a teacher. और सवाल guys porter हो रहा है बार बार. आ ही नहीं रहा है. Okay, so that should be a political lead. Okay, now moving on to the next word, which is this one. Okay, incorrigible. Very, very important, by the way, for you all. So, incorrigible is what? See, courage word is for correction. So, incorrigible means when you talk about something that cannot be corrected is incorrigible. So, without courage, nahi, it should be something that cannot be corrected. Similarly, pugnacious. Very important word. I do not wanted an answer, by the way. Pugnacious is aggressive. Anyway, इसमें कोई root word नहीं है फिलहाल, but pugnacious aggressive होता है, ये vocabulary याद है. Then we have the other word, which is your predilection. Very, very good and important word, guys. So, what should it be? A bias, a forecast, a preconceived notion, or should it be primitive move? What is your predilection? Pre means pehle. So, when you know about things pehle se, that's called as predilection. So, that should be, when you're biased towards something, you know about them. So, that should be a bias. Okay. Just read it, guys. What do you have to do? So, it is, how many? Okay. Guys, take 2 minutes of time. Let me get to the words of mine first. They were 20th. Okay. So we have till 25. Now, before I move to 25, these are 6 words, as in 5 words. Take your time. Guess the meaning of the words which are given here. Okay. Chalo, let's see that now. The very first word given to us is your equestrian. Then we have prototype. Then we have quadrupt. Then we have recognize, consortium. So let's see what would be the meaning of what. Okay, let me have some water. Okay, see, let me break these words for you first. Oh, yes, see, equus word is something that is related to horse. So, I would say equestrian is basically a person, one who rides horses. आपने देखा होगा ना, there are a lot of people who ride horses, so they are called as your equestrian basically. So one who rides horses or anything when you talk about related to horses, it's called as your equestrian. Then you have got the next word, prototype. So you must have heard government कुछ भी करने से पहले एक prototype बनाती है. So prototype का मतलब होता है when you talk about the first model of something, the initial blueprint when you talk about. Proto पहले type. So कोई भी चीज implement करने से पहले जब उसकी जो blueprint बनता है, that is called as your prototype. Then you have been given the word called as your quadrupt. अच्छा, let me tell you one thing. Quadrilateral सुना है आपने? Quadrilateral का मतलब क्या होता है? When you talk about 4 lines or 4 sides. So, quadrupt is basically for a person or for an animal which has or that has 4 legs. That's called as your quadrupt. Then you have recognize. Recognize you already know, पहचानना. And then you have the word called as consortium. So consortium is basically when things are bent in very unnatural way. ऐसे या in a different way when things are bent or moved. You must have seen the ghost and all. The way they twist and turn. That is what the meaning of the word is. Okay, then we have theology. We all know this, guys. Study of God. Study of God. Then we okay. Metamorphosis, which means transformation. Transformation. Then we have sorority. I'll get you to this, no? So killing of own sister. Now, let me explain you these words. See, theo is for God. So logy study. Theology means study of God. Metamorphosis. Morphosis is the change. You must have heard about the word metamorphic rocks होते हैं आपके. So morphosis जिधर भी आएगा is for the change, for the transformation. Sorority word. Sorority word is a root. Side is for killing. Sorority is for sister. So killing of one's own sister is called as sororicide. Then you have the word called as egomaniac. अब देखो इसको break करते हैं guys. Let me write it here. Egomania. देखो maniac is for obsession, right? And ego is for that I wala attitude. So I can say that a person who is very much obsessed with oneself. By the way, obsession movie देखी है आपने? You must watch it. One wish willow. Okay, so that's egomaniac. Then we have malpractices. As discussed, mal is a negative word which means bad or cursed. So malpractices is basically for something when things are performed in a very bad way, malpractices, curse, supernatural things, black magic. Now, we have to go for the synonyms. Okay, hypothermia. Let me go to the options first. देखो बच्चे, thermal is for the temperature, hypo is for under something. अभी देखो, abnormal increase in the body temperature नहीं, abnormal drop. Yes, under. अंडर बोलते हैं ना. इफ यू आर थिंकिंग अंडर द स्किन होना चाहिए, नहीं. लेट मी टेल यू व्हाट दिस इज. अंडर द स्किन इज कॉल्ड एज हाइपोडर्मिक, बिकॉज स्किन के लिए आपके पास रूट वर्ड क्या होना चाहिए? डर्मिक होना चाहिए, डर्मा होना चाहिए. हाइपो इज फॉर अंडर, सो इट शुड बी सी फॉर दिस. आई होप यू आर एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस. आई नो यू वुड बी गाइस. ओके, मिसोजिनी. नाउ सो व्हाट इज मिसोजिनी? I told you, मिस वर्ड जिधर भी आएगा इज नेगेटिव. अभी आपको ये लग रहा है कि वोकैबुलरी हमारे लिए कितनी आसान बन रही है. एंड यानी इज बेसिकली फॉर वुमेन, गायनी से रिलेट कर सकते हो. सो दिस वर्ड इज फॉर वुमेन. सो मिसोजिनी वुड बी हेटर ऑफ वुमेन. यू मस्ट हैव सीन सोसाइटी में बहुत ऐसा बोला जाता है जब बॉयज के लिए बोलते हैं, और यू नो इट्स टोटल मिसोजिनी, और ही इज लाइक अ मिसोजिनिस्ट प्रॉपर. So which means hater of women, right? Cryptic, बहुत easy सा I think word है. Cryptic है, cryptocurrency से आप relate कर सकते हो. Something that is hidden, right? Something that is very secretive is called as cryptic. So that could be what? That could be your. हमारा question ही cryptic हो गया guys. आ गया. Unaware नहीं होगा. It should be enigmatic. Then we have the next one, anomalous. Okay, options are, see guys, anomalous को आप anomaly words relate करो, and anomaly word को relate करो आप. Have you seen Priyanka Chopra का brand which is there, Anomaly, right? That is how you can relate it. So anomaly basically means something which is different from others, very outstanding, different from others. That's called as anomaly, right? So it should not be usual, casual. It should be abnormal. Then we have antidote. Then antidote आपको पता ही है, जब कोई किसी को स्नेक कोई काट लेता है, so हम उस इंसान को क्या देते हैं? एंटीडोट देते हैं. एंटीडोट क्योर अगेंस्ट अ पॉइजन होता है. It is not a poison, right? By the way, what do we come back? Simon, come back. Okay, what do we call something that is cure for all disease? We just studied it. That's called as panacea. Okay. Now, 31 question. It says that polyandry. Now, I think it is enough. I explained you multiple times now, guys. So, poly is for multiple. Andry is for man. Wives नहीं जाएगा. एक हमारा D option तो आया नहीं. Fates नहीं जाएगा. It should be many husbands. Then we have anachronism. Anachronism is related to the time. So अभी हम अगर देखेंगे, losing time नहीं होगा. Lacking the sequence of time होना चाहिए. C1. Being present in the wrong. Wait. Yes, guys, not the C. Of course, we're not. That should be chronology, na. So it should be present in the wrong time. You are very anachronism wala person. Then we have the next question, which is your arborist. Oh, a very good question it is, guys. Very what do you call it? A very lovely question it is. Anyway, so arborist is who? Someone who studied codes? Nahi. Someone who works with trees? Someone who works around arbor, or someone who talks to trees? Who is called as the arborist? Now I have eliminated one option, and I want you now to answer me. What could that be? Quickly tell me. Okay, let's see now. Okay, so it should not be, of course, you cannot talk to trees. So it should be someone who works with trees, because arbor is a word which is for the trees, or let's say for the things related to trees. Then the next word could be your archaic. Now archaic को आप याद कर सकते हो आर्काइव से, और आर्काइव्स गैलरीज होते हैं ना, आपके आर्कीव्स होते हैं. So that could be hidden. So something that is outmoded, something that is antique, something that is precious. Tell me. I need answer from you. बताओ. Archaic is basically, you see, archives, galleries होते हैं पुराने, so something that is antique. Okay, the next, do we have a next question, guys? Yes, we do have that. So what is this? Now, centennial, it is what? 10 years, 50 years, 100 years, 1 year anniversary. What is that? So let me tell you, this is very easy. It is not your 50 year. Okay. Sometimes questions खुद आ जाते हैं, हम उन्हें बुलाते नहीं हैं. Okay, so that is 100 years actually. Now the next question for us is this one, circumvent. Now circum is for roundabout. Let me tell you, when you talk about roundabout things, right? So आप अभी आंसर इधर से ढूंढ सकते हो. It could be what? Talking in a roundabout manner, walking to avoid, walking around, walking round and round. What should be the answer of your circumvent? That should be your walking to avoid. No, guys. Circumvent could be your circum is for the bend you talk about. It should be your talking in a roundabout way. Okay, next question is your this one. This one होगा. Okay, credulous. Credulous को आप credibility से आप याद कर सकते हो. Please do that. Quickly, answer me. What should be the answer for credulous? Okay, done. Credulous done, guys. Okay, देखो. I think we just did it. Credulous skeptical नहीं होगा. It should be naive, because credulous means something that holds value, and something that holds value should be your credulous. Okay, coming back to now I'm getting. I just read the wrong one. See, circumvent basically, guys, gives you the meaning to avoid. Okay, so or you can say to bypass when you talk about. So that is why walking around नहीं होगा, walking and round and about. Walking basically amble से आता तो would have been more preferable. So that is why. अभी इसका दोनों आंसर आप समझ भी सकते हो. It could be walking, talking to avoid होना चाहिए था. So that have been more apt. But अगर walking लिखा है, so walking to avoid हो भी सकता है, नहीं भी. It's like can be true. And talking in a roundabout manner भी हो सकता है. Credulous we did. Then we have heterodox. Okay. What is that? We do not want an answer first, but heterodox means non-conformist when you talk about. Okay, next we have intercept. Intercept police अगर आपने सुनी होगी. Then we have the options called as what? Intercept. I think you can very well relate. Intercept करना, in between. Inter से आप relate कर सकते हो. So inter means coming in between, hinder करना. Then we have judicious. Judicious is what? Judicious का एक और word होता है, आपको याद होना चाहिए, sagacious. So sagacious, judicious, कहीं भी किसी भी फॉर्मेट में आ जाएंगे. All you should remember is that it stands for something that is very wise. Judgment से relate कर सकते हो. So sage person, a very judicious person. Then we have another question. Okay, so we have to choose the one that can substitute. Okay, very good, guys. So fear of marriage is called as what? Now let me help you in substituting. Yuxor word जिधर भी आता है is for the wife. Okay, that yuxor is for wife. ठीक है? Mamlophobia ऐसा भी कुछ होते नहीं है, and gamo word is for marriage. So fear of marriage is called as gamophobia, and euxorophobia is your fear of wife. Similarly, a place where airplanes are kept. So that's the place where airplanes are kept is called as a hangar, not that hangar kapdo wala. Apiary is the place where bees are kept. ठीक है? Or something in which bees are kept is called as your apiary. Lair, since the answer is there, lair is a secluded or hidden resting place for a wild animal or a secret hideout for the person. जो आप कभी कई बार कार्टून्स में या मूवीज में देखते होगे ना, जो छुपने वाली जो जगह होती है, that is called as lair. Then we have the next one, the next question, that's called as, okay, dash is where leather is produced. Now, the place where leather is produced is called as your tannery. Others are जहाँ पे भी leather बनता है आपको. This is what we are dealing with, one word substitution. So you should know जहाँ भी leather बनता है उस place को हम क्या बोलते हैं? Tannery बोलते हैं. Likewise, hosiery is for the कपड़ा. Then we have distillery, जो wine बनाने की जो process होती है ना. Okay, we can see alcoholic beverages or other things are produced by the process of distillation. It's called as distillery. Then we have flint is a furnace overused for baking, drying or firing material such as bricks or potteries. Then we have this, an export of fish is called what? Okay, देखो. Philatelist. Philat word is for stamps. Ichthayo word is for fish. I think अब आपको अपना आंसर मिल गया होगा. It should be B. Then you have philologist is a person who studies languages. So philat is for stamps, phil is for languages, and also antiquary is for ancient things. So that is how you can break them. Then moving on to the next one, and I hope you're answering with me. Art of making dictionary. So dictionary word जिधर भी आता है, lexico word आता है उधर, right? So अभी देखो, so I think we already did this. Is dictionary? This is something related to physics. Theo is for God. Linguistics is for languages. Then 46. A person who constantly worries about their state of health. You probably might have come across lot many people who continuously are like, वो मेरी तबीयत खराब है, वो मुझे कुछ मेरे को health ठीक नहीं लग रही, ये ठीक नहीं लग रहा, वो ठीक नहीं लग रहा. So people who continuously worry about their health are called what? Hypertension, hypotension, एक इनमें से कुछ BP का भी है, by the way, let me tell you. Nasophobia, hypochondriac. So that is person is called as hypochondriac. Naso is irrational fear of having developed a disease. जब उसको लगता है मुझे तो ये बीमारी हो गई, किसी ने कोई बोला बीमारी चल रही है, उनको लगे उनको ये बीमारी हो गई. That is called as nasophobia, right? Hypertension is your high blood pressure. So hyper का hypo हो जाएगा low blood pressure. That is a B. Okay. Then we have the next question. हमारा next question आ गया. Okay, that says a person who leads a very simple life is called as what? So, to be precise, a person who leads a very simple life is called as ascetic, right? Let me take you through the other words also. Atheist. So, atheist is basically for a person who is a non-believer of God. Agnostic. Agnostic is basically for a person, or agnostic is a person who is not sure about the existence of God, for whom भगवान है भी भगवान नहीं भी है. ठीक है? Then altruistic. Altruistic is a very selfless person. A person who always helps others when they need is altruistic. So altruistic is selfless person. Agnostic doubts about the existence of person. Atheist doesn't believe at all. Ascetic is a person who leads a very simple life. Even though they have a lot of money, but they lead a very simple life. 48th. Painting applied directly on the wall. So that, see, palette तो नहीं होगा. Palette is basically जिसमें colors रखते हैं. Similarly, mosaic is basically that dotted, scattered जो white से होता है. So directly on the wall जो apply करते हैं, that's called as mural. Fresco is firstly you make it and then you do it. Another form of art. Okay. 49th. We do not wanted that, by the way. Okay, let's see. So that should be a dash of peacock. So this is calling for the collective noun. Now, let me tell you the meaning of the other words which are given. So it is always flock of sheep. It is pride of loins. तो जब भी आपको loins का corrective noun मिलेगा, pride बोल सकते हो. It is always colony of ants. Then we have 50th. A text. Reading is same forward and backward. It's like 55. Right. And is there any name? I'm not, but that's not coming to my mind. But something that when you read आगे से या पीछे से from the starting or from back, they are similar. That is called as palindrome. Right. Antonyms, synonyms, acronyms. Okay. You already know that. So yes, guys. That was it for today's session. I hope you have enjoyed this a lot, since it really gave you a good insight about the vocabulary, your approach of dealing with the vocabulary, and so that's it. Now we'll meet in the next session. Till then, take care of yourself. Bye-bye. Keep studying, and like this boy, do memorize all the words that we have studied, so that your vocabulary is not your weak forte, but is your strong forte. Bye-bye. Take care.